We must not live in denial. We must not fool ourselves. Terrorism has no religion. Victims of terrorism have no religion. Perpetrators of terrorism have no religion. We live in a religion-agnostic world when it comes to terrorism. These arguments are made by people to stop accepting the reality. The reality is that there was religious segregation in Pahalgam, that Hindu men were asked to recite the Islamic Kalma, that their pants were pulled down to see whether they have been circumcised or not. And they were asked to recite the Kalma to check whether they were Hindu or Muslim. And those who could not recite the Islamic Kalma were killed. I am not saying this. I will play 3 sound bites. And I want all the people living in denial tonight, all the people, these pseudo-secular frauds, to listen to this as well. First, the comment of the Dwivedi family. Kanpur resident Shubham Dwivedi, 28, and his wife were among the tourists present. They were asked if they were Muslim and demanded to recite the Kalma. First, proof, Dwivedi family from Kanpur.
मैं और शुभम बैठ के मैगी खाने जा रहे थे. शाम भी मेरी बहन थोड़ा दूर बैठी थी और पापा मेरे वॉशरूम में थे. उतनी देर में एक बंदा पीछे से आया और उसने गोली साइड में रख के उससे पूछा हिंदू है कि मुसलमान है. मुसलमान है तो पहले कलमा पढ़ के दिखा. जैसे हमें पता ही नहीं, हम पीछे पलट के देखे हो क्या रहा है. हम उसकी तरफ स्माइल करके पूछे भैया क्या हुआ. कह रहे हिंदू है मुसलमान. मैंने कहा हिंदू. मार दिया. पहली गन उसी पे चलाई. उसके बाद 70 लोगों को मार दिया. क्यों मार दिया?
And you know what? There are still people who will say, Arnab, don't talk about these issues, bury them. Don't talk about it. It will affect the climate in our country. So what should I do? Bury them, edit them, not let people know the truth that Hindus were pulled out, told to recite the Islamic Kalma, and when they couldn't, or when they proudly identified themselves as Hindu, they were killed on the spot. 3 bullets each in the head, here, and then in the back. 3 bullets each. Their faces smashed because they were Hindu. Proof number 2, I want you to hear. 50-year-old Life Insurance Corporation of India branch manager Sushil Nathalian wanted to be in Kashmir to experience the heaven on earth. This is what, he was Christian, this is what his wife said.
यही बोला कि मेरे मिस्टर के पास बंदूक लगा के बोला कलमा पढ़ो. मेरे मिस्टर ने बोला मैं तो क्रिश्चियन हूँ, मैं ईसाई हूँ, मेरे को कमला कलमा जो भी है वो नहीं पढ़ना आता. और बस इतना बोला मेरे पति ने, उनको ऐसे धक्का दिया और बंदूक मार दी बिल्कुल सीने पे. मेरे पति ने वही
Kalma padho. Ladies and gentlemen, now you know these pseudo-secular channels, pseudo-secular journalists will not talk about it. There will be no videos on this made by the Ravish Kumars and all these people. Also the lobby of Indian journalists who keep going there to have coffee with Nawaz Sharif. And there is one particular lady journalist who is the favorite of Hafiz Saeed. She should quit this profession forever because Hafiz Saeed has said that she's a great journalist. They will not ask these questions that I, Arnab Goswami or Republic ask. They are not nationalist people. When Hindus are the victims, when Christians are the victims, then they will not say these things. I want to give you a third example of the wife of Biton Adhikari. Biton Adhikari, 40-year-old engineer employed with the Tata Consultancy Services in the US, was among 26 killed. These are official figures of 26. I don't even know whether I can believe it. And this is what his wife Sohini said. She said that the terrorists asked her and her husband whether they were Muslims, and they were told to immediately defend their lives by reciting the Kalma. Please hear her narration of events.
আপনি বলুন হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, বলুন কাল রাতে আমাকে বলেছেন হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে, বলুন বলুন আপনি
মুসলিম আপনি কি কালমা পড়তে জানেন? না জানি না.
বলুন এদের বলুন, সেকুলার নেতাদের বলুন.
मेरे दिल
ওর দায়িত্ব আমার, ওর দায়িত্ব আমার।
স্যার ওটার বিচারও আমার চাই। আমি সব আপনাকে বলবো। ও সকালবেলা ঘুম থেকে উঠে কি বলেছে জানেন? মাম্মা ফায়ার, পাপা শেষ। এটা বলেছে। ও চোখের সামনে ওর বাবাকে
হিন্দুস্তানে হিন্দুকে খুন করবে,
আমার হাজবেন্ড
নাম নিশান মিটাবো।
খুব সাপোর্ট করতেছে।
পলিটিক্স ছেড়ে দেন, হিন্দু বলে মেরেছে। পলিটিক্স ছেড়ে দেন।
আমি শুধু আপনার ভরসায় এসেছি।
মাল্যদান করবেন আমাদের পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে মাননীয় মন্ত্রী এবং মেয়র শ্রী ফিয়াল হাকিম মহাশয়।
আপনাদেরকে খুব মানতে খুব মানতে মোদিজিকে খুব মানতে আমাকে হেল্প করুন, আমাকে
পুরো হেল্প করবো বোন, পুরো হেল্প করবো।
মাল্যদান করবেন পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে মাননীয় মন্ত্রী শ্রী
You hear her there, ladies and gentlemen, where she says that my husband was told to recite the Kalma. How long will we remain pseudo-secular, ladies and gentlemen? And all the people so proud that we have the word secular in our constitution are the people who have finger on their lips today. Because here is an example. I have given you 3 out of many instances. I have given you proof that this is not a case where you can go around strutting, saying that terrorism has no religion, neither the perpetrators or the victims have no religion. Sonia Gandhi will not talk about this. Rahul Gandhi will not talk about this because their Muslim vote bank will be upset. They think. All they want is the Muslim vote bank. Even if I give them proof like this, that Hindus are being targeted and killed for being Hindus, for not reciting the Kalma, the pseudo-secular lobby will be totally quiet and say, Arnab, don't talk about these things. I'm asking you tonight, should I bury all this? Am I a journalist if I bury all this? How long will you let a bunch of fake, fraud, pseudo-secular YouTubers mislead you about the reality of this country? There is radicalization. And there are people who even at a time like this, when the nation is under attack, are saying, come, let's hit the streets. Let's tell the Muslims to hit the streets about a property dispute called the Waqf. Let's use this. Rahul Gandhi feels this is a great moment. Let's use this moment on Waqf to provoke Muslims, make them hit the streets. That is what will help Pakistan. And I accuse the Congress party of forever being Pakistan's partner at times like this. Yesterday I put out a video that for God's sake, Owaisi, Rahul, All India Muslim Personal Law Board, spare us your politics at this time. See the pictures from Pahalgam. Realize what is happening. Stop provoking Muslims and telling them, let's show our power, let's hit the streets. Why, Rahul Gandhi? All the American money couldn't get you 10 votes, so you now want to create a big Muslim vote bank and emerge as the Muslim leader of this country. And these people want peace. They still want peace, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Congress party saying in its press conference today that despite all of this, we must maintain peace. In other words, the Congress, which is pretending to support the government, is actually still playing that stupid, malevolent, corrupt, Aman ki Asha card. I'll play a clip.
हम इस गंभीर उकसावे के बावजूद शांति बनाए रखने की अपील करते हैं और संकट की इस घड़ी में हमारी सामूहिक शक्ति को दोहराते हैं.
Now, viewers, look at his words. संकट की घड़ी. संकट तो पाकिस्तान की होने वाली है, पवन खेड़ा. It's Pakistan which is going to be in sankat. So don't try and weaken our resolve. And who are you when the Prime Minister is speaking and issuing a stern warning to the Pakistanis? Why are you appealing for peace? Who do you want peace with? Asif Munir? Shehbaz Sharif? With the Lashkar-e-Toiba? With all your separatist friends? With the people who Manishankar Iyer appealed with and said, let's join hands and defeat Modi next time? This party, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be trusted. And one more thing, I want this Bollywood brigade to stop giving gratuitous advice about forbearance. There is a Bollywood superstar is talking about forbearance. What does that Bollywood fellow know? Owaisi wants to create a facade of sympathizing with victims. Omar How dare you try and give this sort of wishy-washy statement today saying there's a lot of Kashmiriyat, Kashmiriyat, Kashmiriyat. Where was this Kashmiriyat? When on 19th August 2024, you pledged in your manifesto to encourage dialogue between India and Pakistan. Where was your Kashmiriyat then, Omar? Don't use the word Kashmiriyat as a mask over your real intentions, your and your father, your real intentions. These people call, and Omar Abdullah said, these are our guests. It's heartbreaking to see the exodus of our guests from the valley. Your guests. Your guests. Kashmir is ours, Omar. You don't own it. They were not guests. They were in their own country. Look at the use of language by Omar Abdullah. It reveals his intentions. This is the same man who in December 2016 was telling the separatist pro-Pakistan Hurriyat, don't break up. He wanted a unity among the pro-Pakistan elements led by Yasin Malik and Syed Ali Shah Jilani, who said, I am not an Indian by birth. It is a compulsion. We have to travel with an Indian passport. And Omar Abdullah was doing politics with him. Ladies and gentlemen, believe me, I know these people inside out. And they know that I know them. They know that I know them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is fake sympathy. We will never believe. Mehbooba Mufti carrying a placard yesterday was a joke. She carries a placard saying, this is an attack on all of us. She's a liar. She's double-faced. Ladies and gentlemen, she's double-faced. This is the same Mehbooba Mufti who was begging for a chance for Burhan Wani. This is the same Mehbooba Mufti, and she doesn't have the guts to face me. She's a coward as well. She says this is an attack on all of us. No, it's not an attack on all of us. Accept, Mehbooba Mufti, this was an attack in which Hindus were segregated and Hindus were killed. So stop your fake candlelight protests. You're the same people who was against the hanging of Afzal Guru. You're an Afzal Guru fan. You're a nepotistic person and an Afzal Guru fan. You're the one who cries for separatists. And you must realize that the Kalma test that happened in Pahalgam was absolutely real. It happened. The Narwal family, Professor Bhattacharya, Professor of Assam, a Hindu Brahmin, he said he recited the Kalma instinctively and that's how his life got saved. But that was not the case for the Dwivedi family of Kanpur, the Narwal family who got married 9 days back. For Santosh Jagdale, 54-year-old, he was told to come out and then he was shot thrice, once in the head because he could not recite the Kalma, once behind the ear because he could not recite the Kalma, and once in the back because he could not recite the Kalma. And ladies and gentlemen, no more cricket. I want to tell these sports channels that want to make so much money and think that we won't understand about how much money they make by doing a match with Pakistan and broadcasting it and having it done in Dubai. Stop it, for God's sake. Stop your bloody cricket with Pakistan. Stop those bloody movies with Pakistani stars. Why is Salman Khan so willing to work with Pakistani stars again? He says, take the permission from here. I'm ready to work with them, even joking, or else I'll play cricket. Well, Salman Khan, just shut up like you should have done in the past. This is the same Salman Khan who in 2016 spoke about Pakistani artists and said they are artists, not terrorists, when Pakistan wants to bleed us with terror. Some in Bollywood still want to do movies with them. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to come to terms with what has happened. The government will act, but we need unity within. And the greatest service leaders of the Muslim community can do is by having nationwide protests against the targeted killing of Hindus, whether in Pahalgam or in Murshidabad. Haragobindo Das was killed because he was a Hindu in Murshidabad. Chandan Das, his 40-year-old son, was killed because they are Hindu in Murshidabad. But when Republic says these things, we are told, don't say it because you've got to be pseudo-secular. The media in this country has been a pseudo-secular media. That media has no right to broadcast to this country anymore. You can't be a journalist if you're not a nationalist. Ladies and gentlemen, the only test that will be allowed in this country, or should be allowed or made mandatory, is not the Kalma test. It should be the test of nationalism.